There's an old school way of building shower floors, which I first learned about 40 years ago, and it involves mixing cement with sand and then going through a process of pounding that mixture called dry pack in place in the shower location. The texture of it is such that it can be cut with sticks and formed into the configuration you need for your floor. The process ends with tile being set on the floor with thin set, and then after it's cured and grouted, you have a shower floor that can easily last decades. The tile setters who taught me this over 40 years ago had been doing this all of their working careers. And the main guy I worked with was at retirement age at the time he was teaching me. So we're talking about a method here that's been around for a long time. I have a two-part video series on building this shower floor that's linked in the corner. There's a new approach to building shower floors that I've not been interested in for a couple of reasons. One is that I can build a shower floor the old school way, and that's worked for me over many years. A couple of years ago, I had a conversation with the son of a contractor I worked for back when I first got started, and he sent me a picture of a master bath shower in a new home at that time that he was remodeling, and we figured out that I had originally done that shower installation 32 years earlier, and it was still in service. So it's hard to trade what works for something new. The second reason I've not been interested in this newer method is that it seems to me to be very expensive, and I'll talk about that shortly. Now in this video I decided to try this new methodology I'm going to call foamboard for lack of a better description. It's fairly dense foam board with a layer of waterproof membrane over the top of it. That's been cut to replace exactly what would be built with the dry pack cement mix. I'm not sponsored by any manufacturer, and I'm not referring to any brand names, including the one I'm using in this video. I reached out to a sales rep of the manufacturer of this product that I'm using to see if they wanted to participate and have some input about their product in my video, but my interest was greater than theirs, so I'll just leave it at that. In this shower installation, we were building a very large walk-in shower, about 4 foot by 5 foot with a lateral drain at one end. It's in an upstairs master bathroom, and if I was ever going to try this foam board shower-based methodology and matching wallboard, now was the perfect time to try it. The thought of floating that shower floor in with dry pack was going to be a lot of work, tedious, and I was concerned about that much dry pack concrete on the floor without adding potentially additional structural support for the floor joist since it was an upstairs bathroom. So I decided to take the plunge, and I'm going to talk about my experience. I attended a seminar by the sales reps, and I'm following the instructions they gave for installation of the base. You want to secure the base to the subfloor, in this case using thin set, and I moistened the subfloor with water before spreading the thin set in order to make sure I slowed down the curing rate. I initially coated the back of the shower base with a layer of thin set as well to make sure I get 100% coverage between the shower base and the subfloor. The process at this point is very simple and very straightforward. And right now, honestly, I was thinking this is really not too bad of a deal because the alternative would have been to mix up a good deal of dry pack and carry probably 12 buckets of it upstairs into this bathroom just to start the floor. Yet in a matter of an hour or so, I'm going to have a shower base set in place, ready to begin setting tile on very shortly. I do have to say, though, that the situation with the lateral drain, it was trickier than I thought it would be. It's important to get your plumbing lined up exactly right before you set the base because you don't really have any do-overs with the base once it goes in. So I spent a lot of time working through the process of prepping the plumbing for connecting to the drain. As you can see, I have the floor opened up outside the area of the shower floor because I'll need to access the plumbing to connect the drain flange to the plumbing after the base is set. I'm prepping the drain now to attach the drain assembly itself to the shower base, which is obviously a very important connection that needs to be made watertight. A tube of this adhesive caulk comes with the shower base, but it's not enough adhesive to do the job completely, so additional tubes are about $15 a piece. The shower base itself cost about $500, and the drain was about $400, and those prices included my contractor discount of probably 10 to 15%. So by the time you buy those items and a few extra tubes of adhesive, I spent about $1,000 for the materials to construct this shower floor. That's contrasted with about $250 in materials to build this shower base with cement and sand. For me, in this case, that's probably a pretty good trade-off based on the time and effort involved in building the shower floor in the traditional way. Plus, the machined surface of the shower base is such that I don't have to be concerned at all about having enough pitch on the shower floor for it to drain well. So for this large shower, the extra cost is worth it to me. But for anything much smaller, I would be hard-pressed to decide to use this system again. And it's not so much about the installation process you've seen so far as it is that I wasn't a fan of the recommended thin set that I had to use on this shower. Since this is a walk-in shower, we took the opportunity to let the adhesive caulk set up a little through lunch and a few hours in the afternoon to build an elevated floor that will not only enclose the end of the shower, but also serve as a platform for the freestanding tub. It's an interesting design that the homeowner came up with here, but it had its challenges in routing plumbing, enclosing the shower, and building the floor so that everything was staged in a way that kept the whole process in sequence. In the end, we needed to know that when we closed up the floor, it could stay closed up through the rest of the job. The last step in installing the shower base was to add this block of foam that comes with the base to close off the end of the drain and serve as a backstop for water flowing down the floor. There is a rabbet joint cut in the edge of the block to be glued over the drain and the shower base. The foam cuts like you would expect foam to cut, and I'm not sure how you can get a tighter miter than that. This is not a time to skimp on the adhesive, as I do not want any of this coming apart. I took additional adhesive and used it to fill any corners in the block joints and basically sealed anything that could potentially leak. So when it was all said and done, I came away pretty confident that this shower base should hold together over time. It comes with a lifetime warranty on a residential installation, and the manufacturers of these products, I'm sure, have had enough experience with their products to be able to stand behind those warranties. I can't help but think back, though, to those old tile setters that taught me the old ways of building shower floors and what they would think about this method. Knowing a few of them the way I did, I'm quite confident their comments would not be ones I could publish in this video. I used the same foam board for the walls from this manufacturer just to keep things consistent. And again, I have to say, it's nice to be able to carry about 7 sheets of this 3x5 foam board up the stairs at one time because they're so lightweight. They cost about $30 a sheet as compared to $13 a sheet for a 3x5 half-inch sheet of Hardibacker. You also have to like that you can cut it with a utility knife rather than what I do with Hardibacker, which is take it outside on sawhorses and cut it with a masonry blade and angle grinder. What I don't like about it is that it is so flexible that with a little pressure between the studs, you can flex the material quite a bit. You continue using the adhesive to join those seams together as you're installing them, which I suppose is okay, but bottom line to me is it's still foam board. I mentioned the recommended thin set for this product a while ago that I wasn't particularly fond of. What I did come to find out from using it, though, is that it sets up like a rock and seems really dense, which I guess would be a good thing because along with the tile, that helps to provide stiffness to the foam board after installation. It just seems a little bit backwards to me, but again, I'm coming from a mindset where the walls that you set tile on are substantial and not made of foam board. So the foam board, despite all the advantages in being lightweight and easy to cut, still would not be my preferred choice. Hardibacker would be. The thin set would be fine if it weren't such a pain to work with, but my guess is that it's an important part of the system by providing rigidity to the foam board that other types of thin set may not. I'll get into that more with the video on setting the tile for this shower and the tub area, but it's safe to say I won't use that thin set again unless I absolutely have to. I hope you'll keep an eye out for my next video on this bathroom remodel, where we'll set the tile and provide more feedback on working with foam board shower bases and walls. Lots of experienced tile setters swear by them, and no doubt they may be a good choice for homeowners looking to do remodels on their own, but I've just been a little slower to come around.